I went back to doing what we were supposed to be doing because I'm sick and tired of your law-tarding and your rhetoric. I've been on the phone all day since 10 o'clock this morning, ringing member after member after member. We asked questions about this anti-Semitism being outside of Section 116 of the Constitution. I rang a few people in relation to Section 44(1) of the Constitution. And what I can say to you is, you cannot trust One Nation at all. At all. Malcolm Roberts doesn't give a shit about you. They are already in the Zionist puppet hand. This can be easily clarified, no matter how much rhetoric they speak. They don't want to believe that we can do this on the courtroom record. They believe that they can do politics. So I'm going to be very clear here. You cannot trust Pauline Hanson. You cannot trust One Nation. Not even a tiny little bit. They don't give a crap about you. The rhetoric that goes on in that parliament should have been before the courtrooms years ago. These people committed criminal offences. And I know it's harsh to get to, but when we speak to these politicians, it's very easy to see which ones close down. Now, I'm pissed off with Malcolm for one reason. I brought up soldiers and I put the boy on to a Royal Australian Regimental soldier. And they have a total disrespect in Malcolm's office for the fact that your soldiers sacrifice their lives for you. When that soldier brought up the fact that a bioweapon was used, Malcolm's office switched because they didn't expect a 1RAR soldier to ask, why aren't you doing anything about the bioweapon? No, you'll go into Senate estimates and whine and complain. You had an obligation under the Criminal Code 1995 to inform the Australian Federal Police that a crime had occurred. But instead, we're watching the Parliament and its Zionism aid and abet that war crime to occur. I spoke to Jackie Lambie's office. I spoke to Allegra's office, Allegra Spender, the one that brought the bill before the Parliament. I spoke to about 10 people in the Federal Parliament when I realised we need to start looking at the state parliaments. So I've been on the phone all day to the State Parliament of Queensland. And it's very, very easy to see who is complicit in this crime by the way they react on the phone when they realise that the findings in the international world are defining it as a bioweapon. A bioweapon used on Queenslanders in a militarised attack. A militarised attack pushed upon the Premier and the Health Minister from the executive branches of the federal government behind Scott Morrison at the time. This would be Angus Campbell, Chief of Defence. This would be General Fruin, Ovid's task force commander that poisoned 24,000 New South Wales students in a stadium much like they did in Germany in 1944. It is no different to Germany in 1944. We've also seen Natasha, Premier of Queensland, go through ICAC or ICAB or whatever it was called, the corruption dog, who bit her back and said, "You're corrupt." We also saw people like Premier Daniel Andrews hide the fact that he ran over a teenager with the help of that military command. Can't have the man pushing the poison to be seen to be a attempted murderer by flying around the corner of a street and smacking down some kid on a bicycle. They're above the law, aren't they? Daniel Andrews should be in jail for that incident. Daniel Andrews should be in jail for lying. And those that helped him cover it up should also face the consequences. So I spent the time on the phone to all of Queensland. And it's very easy to see who's complicit in this war crime. They hang up on you very quickly because they begin to realise the people of Australia have had enough. They know that corruption occurs in their state parliaments. They watched Daniel Andrews. They watched New South Wales with the Health Minister, Kerry Chant, the most evil-looking one of them all. She had that look in her eye that she was scared because someone came and put a thumb down on her and said, "Time to administer a poison."
Do you serve Israel or Australia?
Sorry, who was it calling?
Do you serve Israel or Australia?
I believe we tried to have a discussion before. And
No, you didn't. You hung up on me because this is a difficult subject that you as politicians don't want to discuss with your constituents. You're doing things in that parliament that have no reflect to our constitution. You're doing things in that parliament on behalf of foreign powers. So when do you sit down and discuss this with your constituents instead of acting like gatekeepers to your politicians?
Are you a constituent of Wentworth?
When do you discuss this with the constituents of the Commonwealth of Australia? Do you not serve in the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act?
So do you live in Wentworth?
Does that matter? She's a member for the Parliament of the Commonwealth. It doesn't matter where I live in the Commonwealth. You have brought something before the Parliament which goes against the Constitution. And you all sit there thinking that you can do that because you ignore the constituents. You are doing it to me now.
That we are ignoring you.
Well, you're doing it to me now by brushing me off and not answering my question. Do you serve Israel? Do you serve Israel or do you serve the Commonwealth of Australia?
Why don't you put your thoughts into an email and I can
So you won't answer my question. See what I'm talking about? Are you a gatekeeper to the Parliament? Are you the gatekeeper, refusing to interact with your constituents all across the Commonwealth?
I'm interact with you. I'm listening to you.
So answer my question. Did you serve Israel or the Commonwealth of Australia?
I work for the Australian government.
Is the Australian government the lawful government of the Constitution or an occupying power?
I'm not sure I follow the question, to be honest.
Do you serve Israel or do you serve the Constitution?
Me personally?
No, you're a member for the Parliament. You are an agent of that government. Is the Australian government a lawful de jure government? Or do you serve Israel instead of the Commonwealth of Australia?
I think you might be confused.
I'm not confused.
Well, you're asking me questions as if you are under the impression that I'm Allegra, and I'm not.
Oh, I know who you are. You're the gatekeeper receptionist that won't let anybody get to Allegra. You're the gatekeeper receptionist that keeps Allegra in the office and nobody gets to talk to Allegra. So I'm asking you as I'm going to ask you as an agent of the government and I mean that very specifically, agent of, is the Australian government a lawful de jure government? And the second question is, do you serve Israel or the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act July 1900?
Allegra is a member of the House of Representatives in the Australian Parliament House.
And is that a lawful de jure government?
I believe so.
How do you believe so?
I think it would probably be best if you put your views into an email because some of the
So you're a gatekeeper. So you're a gatekeeper. Please use the metaverse. Don't talk to us.
Okay. I've asked you if you're a constituent of Wentworth.
I'm a constituent of the Commonwealth of Australia, and you're the ones operating in that parliament. So are you gatekeeping?
Finish my sentence. If you're not going to let
Well,
me
you won't let me finish the sentence, will you?
I have let you speak.
No, you haven't. You've talked over the top of me, butted in. It's your modus operandi. That's what a gatekeeper does. Maybe you should answer the questions.
Okay.
Is the Australian government a lawful government?
Senator Hanson's office, how can I help?
Yes, good morning. I'm just ringing in relation to something that's happened in the Parliament, and I'd like an opinion from your office.
Okay, I may be able to help. What's the...
Right, now, let's get to the facts. Pauline wore a scarf in the Parliament. You know what scarf I'm talking about. Okay?
Yes, that scarf was given to her by a staff member, and she was wearing it in support of that staff member.
Don't create lies.
I'm not. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay,
don't
so
accuse me of lying.
is Pauline a member of the Zionist Federation of Australia?
Not that I'm aware of.
Is bringing religion into the Parliament going against the Constitution?
In what way?
Section 116.
Yeah, but who's bringing religion into it?
Allegra Spender brought a bill before the Parliament in relation to anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is the disagreeance of a faith. A faith is a religion. Allegra Spender brought a bill before the Parliament going against Section 116 of the Constitution, yet you all entertained it. Why did you entertain it?
I think you might need to ring the Canberra office. You've rung the Brisbane office.
I am a member of this electorate. So I think you need to talk to me.
But, sir, I can't answer the questions. I'm not down in Parliament and I don't know the answers. All the advisors are down in Canberra, and if you ring the Canberra office, you'll get one of those staff members.
Well, I'm looking for answers, and I've rung multiple politicians this morning, and you're all obfuscating from answering questions. You don't want to answer the questions.
I'm happy to answer the questions I know the answers of, but I don't know the answers because I'm not in Canberra.
So I'll ask you a question.
Ring someone who knows the answers, and that is the Canberra number.
I'll ask you a question. Does Pauline Hanson work for Israel or the Australian people?
The Australian people.
How does she do that? By showing her obedience and allegiance to powers foreign to the Constitution, going against Section 44(1).
Once again, sir, I can't answer those questions.
You wore a scarf?
So why don't you ring someone from the office?
You're too dumb. Did you say you're too dumb?
I'm too dumb to answer them. You're not listening to me. I can't answer the questions you want because I'm not
So
in
you
Parliament.
work in a federal office and you're telling me you're too dumb to know our Constitution?
I'm dumb, so I'm agreeing because you clearly are not listening to. If you want the answers to this, please ring the Canberra office.
I'm asking my electorate office to perform for me, and you're not.
Hey, sir, I would love for your questions.
Don't yell at me.
The best way to do that is to call the advisors in Canberra.
Why are you all getting in a tiz over someone questioning you over your Zionist links? Why are you getting frustrated?
I'm not frustrated. frustrated.
You are
sir.
listen to you.
Hey, would you like
Listen
help,
to
sir?
you.
Would you like some assistance, sir?
Would you like to calm down?
Would you like some assistance, sir? Because
Yes, I would like you to answer the question as to your Zionist links.
Sir, I don't have any.
So why did Pauline Hanson show her obedience and allegiance to a foreign power on our Senate floor, going against Section 44(1) of the Constitution? Answer the question.
Yes, if you would like the answers, I suggest ringing the Canberra office where the staff there or herself, because she's in Canberra, would be able to answer those questions for you.
Don't
you? Give you the number.
Don't you care about our Constitution yourself?
Yes, that is why I'm giving you the phone number so you can ring the staff that can answer your
Calm
questions.
down. Calm down. Slow down. Slow down. Breathe.
Would you like the phone number, sir?
Breathe. I have the phone number in front of me.
Right, then.
I told you that I'm ringing.
I'm unable to assist
Stop
you.
yelling at
Anything else I
me.
can help you with today?
Stop yelling at me. I've recorded this phone call. It's very easy to demonstrate what you are like in Pauline Hanson's office when you're asked about your Zionist links.
I don't have any.
So why did Pauline Hanson show her obedience or allegiance to a foreign power while acting as a senator and bringing an Israeli scarf onto the Senate floor, therefore going against Section 44(1) of our Constitution? Why did that occur?
Sir, you've asked that question a number of times.
And you haven't answered it yet, and we are waiting for an answer. But you keep getting all irate.
Sir, I can give you a number so you can ring her directly and ask her yourself.
I've got the number. Are you talking about the electoral office, or are you going to give me Pauline's mobile number?
I'm definitely not giving you Pauline's mobile number, but Pauline isn't in this office today.
I understand that. Why do you not listen to your constituents?
I am listening, and for me to be able to assist you the best, I need you to call the advisors that are in Canberra.
This is the best phone call recorded. Literally, this is one of the best recorded parliamentary phone calls I've ever made.
I'm glad, because I've given you plenty of options.
No, listen to me.
So if there's anything else that I can help you with from this office, I'd be more than happy to. But if you need those questions answered, then I suggest you call the Parliament House where her and her advisors are.
Slow down. Can I make a statement? And then I'll leave you to it. Can I point out to you?
Before you do make the statement, if you want your questions answered,
I know that you're. I know that you like talking over the top of people. I know like you've got irate. I know that you're a little bit frustrated.
I'm not frustrated at all, sir. I've actually just gone to the gym and I'm feeling great.
Oh, bullshit.
People today.
Oh, don't lie to us. Literally, don't lie to us. Don't lie. It's not becoming.
I don't appreciate you saying I'm lying.
It's not becoming of you, really. I've got the entire.
Anyway, if there's nothing else I
can I make a statement before I leave you? Can I make a statement? No, I can't make a statement because they're Zionists.
Leader of the Opposition's office.
Who would the Leader of the Opposition's office be? Shouldn't you have announced his title? The Honourable Peter Dutton, MP? No. So you have no respect for your boss.
There's only one Leader of the Opposition.
Yeah, but how am I supposed to know that? Right.
I don't know. Google it.
Oh, Google it. Why are you people so rude?
Well, why are you even calling?
Because I witnessed something. Oh, listen to that, everybody. She hung up on me straight away. That's Peter Dutton's office. Why would you do that? She hung up on me again.
Good afternoon, Federal Commonwealth office, Kelly speaking.
Yes, good morning. I'm just ringing in relation to some things that were seen in the media that happened on the parliamentary floor. I'm ringing on behalf of a large group of people, and we'd like you to prove something to us.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Jackie Lambie had a cryy, whiny whinge about anti-Semitism on the parliament floor. Okay?
What was your name?
My name's Steve.
Do you have a last name?
Do you need to know all of those things, or will you have a conversation?
It's just my notes.
Right, no, that's okay. Now, I'm not having a go at Semitism or anti-Semitism. I couldn't care either way. Okay? What I'm looking at is the very specific actions of Jackie Lambie while she had her little cryy, whingy tantrum in the parliament. This woman doesn't know how to hold herself, does she? It's an embarrassment to our country, isn't it? So my question for you is, have you disobeyed the Constitution by entertaining religion in the parliament?
No.
How can that be when you brought anti-Semitism into the parliament? You brought a faith, religion, Shem, Noah into the parliament. So you brought religion into the parliament very, very, very specifically. Allegra Spender is the one that triggered that, to watch all of the parliament lapdog Israel. So my second question is, are you in obedience or adherence to a foreign power, namely Israel, considering that the entire parliament went up and had a tanty over something that is external to the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution, at which you're flexing your Judaic ideologies on a Protestant nation? Wouldn't that be showing an obedience or an adherence to a foreign power under Section 44.1 and Section 44.2 of that Constitution?
Well, I'm not a senator, I couldn't answer that. But I'll definitely pass it on for you and find out.
Why can't you answer these questions?
As I mentioned, I'm not actually a senator.
No, I understand that. You're an agent of that senator. You're an employee of the Commonwealth. You're supposed to adhere to the Constitution, and you're telling me an employee in the government doesn't even know our Constitution?
That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I don't think the Lambie is senator, and so any knowledge of what she's thinking would be up to her.
Well, you're the one that works for her, and she's already presented her argument on the parliament floor. Like we said when we began this phone call, she showed the most disrespectful, childish tanty in the parliament, showing that she can't hold herself very well. And then following that, that's the evidence. We don't need her opinion. I'm asking you whether she's committed an offence against the Constitution by showing an adherence to a foreign power, namely Israel, at which you serve.
Listen, it's not my job to do that. My job to listen to the people of the constituents of Tasmania.
Well, you're listening to one of them right now, and you won't answer the you won't answer the questions. I'm calling from the Commonwealth of Australia, at which you are an agent of the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act. Don't talk over the top of me, you rude person. Why are you talking over the top of me, you rude person? Why are you so rude?
Enjoy your day.
Good afternoon. The office is Jackie Lambie. This is Kate.
Kate, does your office usually hang up on constituents when they put hard questions before you that you're not willing to answer as a representative of our Constitution?
Occasionally we have to.
Occasionally you have to. So you're refusing to answer questions in relation to the actions that Jackie Lambie put before the Parliament?
I'm giving you a general answer because it's not hard. We don't have a hard and fast rule. It depends on the circumstances of the call and whether that caller is...
So are you a gatekeeper?
Would you like to pose your question? And I'll
Well, that's my question. Are you a gatekeeper?
Occasionally, yes.
Right, so that is the truth. No one can get through to a politician and sit down and discuss anything because you're the gatekeeper.
Well, I'm here to represent Jackie, and it depends
So
on...
are you here to represent the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act or Jackie?
I guess I'm working for the Parliament of Australia. I do as I am requested, and I've done this job for 17 years. So
Right, so you're experienced at this job with Jackie.
Nor am I intimidated by someone who's rude and...
I'm not rude.
Answer a question back to me.
No, okay, what was your question?
My question was, what was the question you asked somebody that they wouldn't
Right.
answer and they hung
It's
up?
a
That was your question.
I know this is
you
a...
didn't give me an opportunity to finish because I didn't know the context of your question. So I was
No,
allowed
fair
to
enough.
answer that question.
So this is a difficult subject. You don't want to entertain this subject.
I may. I may
All
be
right.
very glad to entertain that subject.
Can
I
you
don't
explain Section 116 of your Constitution?
I'm not familiar with the Constitution. I'm an electorate officer. I don't have to read the Constitution.
So you work in an electorate office on behalf of Jackie Lambie, a senator in the Constitution, and you're telling me, you're talking over the top of me. You don't want to know. See, you're a gatekeeper.
You're playing games.
You're a gatekeeper. Shouldn't you know the Constitution?
Okay, I'm Jackie's gatekeeper because she's not even here today.
Yeah, but shouldn't you know the Constitution working for a senator?
In an email, we'd be glad to receive your email. And
Why do you always push people into the metaverse instead of having conversations with them?
Have you got something better to do with your day?
No, I don't, because I represent millions of people. I represent tens of thousands of people that have put their word in me. So I'm asking you very clearly, have you disobeyed the Constitution at Section 116 in your little tanty tirade in the Parliament by Jackie's words in the last 48 hours?
Possibly not.
Possibly not. So not clarifying that you haven't, unknowingly saying possibly. We possibly could have breached Section 116 by discussing...
You're setting me up to say something that you wish to...
Well, I was getting to that, but you keep talking over the top of me. So I don't know what to say in that respect. You're demonstrating to all of the constituents of the Commonwealth that you don't want to discuss this very difficult subject to discuss. And I know it's a very difficult subject to discuss.
Well, if I knew what it was, I would be glad
Well,
to...
if you knew what Section 116 was, you'd already have tied it together that Jackie Lambie showed her support for Israel in the Parliament, which is a breach of the Constitution at Section 44.1 and Section 44.2. The way she went about tantying in the Parliament there and almost losing herself is a demonstration of her obedience and adherence to Zionism. Now, outside of that, Section 116 discusses the fact that you can't discuss religion in the Parliament. And we watched you discuss religion in the Parliament. Nay, we watched you go almost
don't you pop it in an email and put it in Word?
No, you misunderstand me. It's a crime. And it won't be put in an email. It will be put into the Supreme Court. Do you understand that?
When you would have to go to the Supreme Court, it would be Jackie. So you can send an email directly to Jackie.
No, why don't you put Jackie on the phone?
Oh, I would if I could, but she's in Parliament in Canberra, and
right.
I'm in the Herney office.
So now you understand that I represent thousands of people. And you've demonstrated very clearly that you don't know our Constitution, you don't care about our Constitution, you failed our Constitution, you've disobeyed our Constitution, you've shown an adherence and an allegiance to Israel over and above our Constitution by supporting genocidal maniacs that have been defined to be war criminals before the ICCJ by South Africa and other nations, at which at the criminal code you're obligated to the ICCJ, which means that you are now going outside of the ICCJ's decisions in relation to the genocide that has occurred in Palestine, that your Anzacs spilt their blood for before Zionists terrorized your Anzac on the Palestinian land. You don't know your history.
I can pop it in writing.
No, I don't want to pop it in writing. I've recorded the entire phone call. I'm publishing it on social media to demonstrate that, firstly, that Jackie Lambie's actual employees don't know the Constitution they're supposed to operate under, go against the Constitution at Section 116, and show obedience and a... See, you talk over the top of me again. Right?
Well, you don't stop. So I've got to speak over the top.
I don't stop. I'm trying to lay something out and make you think...
If you want to put something in writing, then it
well, you can advise Jackie that will be put into writing and submitted into the Supreme Court as a criminal offence. It is a crime to do what you have done.
That would be a very finite thing to do, but...
Well, this is where we're at in this country. Listen to you disregarding our country. Listen to you...
disregarding the country.
Well,
I'm disregarding that you are very attacking. You came up with a question that, what am I meant to... I've just picked up the phone to politely answer your call, and you attacked me straight away.
No, you said to me you didn't know our Constitution. Do you think that deserves to be attacked?
I'm an employee of...
Yes, exactly right. You are an employee of our Commonwealth. You should know our Constitution. You should know it off by heart. See, they hung up on me.
Good afternoon, Senator Hanson's office.
Yes, what was your name, mate?
Richard. What can I do for you, mate?
Richard, my name's Steve. Nice to meet you. I'm ringing in relation to some actions that have occurred in the Parliament, and I'm ringing on behalf of thousands of people. So I'm kind of expecting answers from politicians. Now, Pauline wore a scarf into the Parliament. I've just got off the phone with your electorate office, who advised me to ring your office.
Yeah.
Now,
Allegra... the scarf that depicted the Israeli flag?
Yeah, correct. Now, Allegra Spender put a bill before the Parliament in relation to anti-Semitism.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I ask a very blunt question.
Yeah.
Is this the Israel Parliament or the Parliament of the Commonwealth of Australia as per the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act, July 1900?
It's the Australian Parliament, mate.
So it's the Australian Parliament, not the Parliament of the Commonwealth of Australia?
It's the Commonwealth Parliament. It's the Parliament of the Commonwealth of Australia. If that's the official term of the nation, okay, we just call it the Parliament, of Australia. It is. So it's an Australian Parliament. It's not an Israeli Parliament, okay. The Israeli Parliament.
Why are you so frustrated?
Knesset, and it's in
Why are you so frustrated? You sped up at 1,000,000 miles an hour there. Is it because I touched on something raw?
Well, no. It's just I just think that the premise of your question is so completely out of step with reality. Now,
so hang on a second.
Hang on, no, I'm talking now. So
I'm talking now. I'm talking now. Go ahead. Go ahead. Talk.
Okay, and you're interrupting me again.
Talk.
So what I was saying, with respect to Senator Hanson wearing that flag, had nothing to do with Israel and everything to do with supporting the religious freedom of Jewish Australians that has been under systematic attack since October 7th, 2023. Okay? And
so you just...
all thing. Okay? So, and that's all it was for.
Well done. Thank you for putting it on the record. You've just defined that you've breached the Constitution at Section 116 because it is about religion. You've just confirmed very clearly on the record. I've recorded it, mate. I've recorded your words. I've recorded your words.
Yeah, but it's not a breach of the Constitution to support religious freedom in Australia.
So let me just clarify.
Section 116 supports freedom of religion in Australia.
No, let me just clarify that for you because you're full of shit. And I'm sorry for swearing, but that's...
So I spent my time on the phone, and I make no apologies for being harsh about the matter. The fact of the matter is, it's a bioweapon. The fact of the matter is, they willingly chose to conspire together to administer that bioweapon, whether they were under the thumb of something or not. The Nuremberg said, just following orders was no excuse at law. And the Yamashita said, issuing those orders going against international law was also a crime. And when they codified that into the Criminal Code 1995, they made it local law. And all these politicians thought that they didn't have to adhere to international laws, but they didn't realise because they're inept at what they do that it was written in the Criminal Code 1995 Volume 2. Section 268 is where I would jump to. And you will see they human traffic you, they poisoned you, they force medically procedured you, they used a medical experiment on you. They did everything in that list willingly because they thought they were conned by people above to believe that they were doing the right thing when they should have known from their own common sense that it was wrong, from their own common sense that it was wrong. And the fact that they didn't, the fact that they continued to spout the rhetoric, demonstrated they put their common sense aside to just follow orders. Now, Natasha Palaszczuk, pull my dick, Natasha, lots of funny names, won't go there, is directly responsible for administering a bioweapon in Queensland. The Health Minister of Queensland is directly responsible for administering a bioweapon in Queensland. Now let's make no mistakes. This bioweapon saw 17% increased deaths across Queensland. That means that Natasha and the Health Minister directly did, without shadow of a doubt, murder Queenslanders. Stop playing politics and start to realise the harsh realities of what's going on. Your emotions don't fall into holding them to account. Evidence does. Name them. Name their crimes. List all their crimes. Date, time, what they did, what they said. Take video of that. Add it all together. Go to work finding this stuff. Put a folder on your computer that allows you to dump all that stuff in it and then later forward it on to us so that we have all of your evidences of the crimes of your local members. Because like I said, Natasha was already found to be corrupt by the corruption watchdog. Dog. Right? Daniel Andrews got away with running over someone because he's above the law. What police commissioner helped him sweep that under the rug so that none of you found out? Did they think they could get away with this long term? I don't think so. Just enough time to poison all of you on behalf of men above them that don't give a crap about them as well. So the police commissioner does the bidding of an external power because he's under thumb of that power. But he willingly follows those orders, doesn't he? He human traffics you on a daily basis. He attacks you for protesting. They manipulate you and fine you and keep you in a position where you can't stand up because they know long term you'll end up falling. But we won't let that happen. We know what they've done now. We know who they serve. The pedo king. Jimmy Savile, Rolf Harris, Prince Andrew, Jeffrey Epstein, Mossad, Israel, pedo king, child smuggling all across America, pizza boxes called shipping containers all across America, 100,000 missing children all across America, pedophiles in your High Court, pedophiles in your Supreme Courts, pedophiles in your Parliament. Bob Hawke, for instance. We could say something about the Hillsong man too, hey? The one that went and worked for the Defence Force after he authorised the poison. They exist strongly across your land. It's very easy now to see why. It's very easy now to see why. Okay? Add it all together. Realise that these nasty people poisoned all of you and brought their rainbow ideologies into your police force, into your health departments, into your defence force, into your daily lives, going against the wishes of you, all the constituents they're supposed to represent. Does that demonstrate very clearly to you that they undermined you, poisoned you with a bioweapon, and believe they're above the law? Well, now they've been informed it is a bioweapon. Now they've been informed we are coming for them. Now they've been informed they can't get away with this forever. They can be happy for a few years while they have power and control, but Australians decided, we won't let you do that to us again. We won't let you do that to us again. Australian Defence Force soldiers have realised you used them to attack the Australian population. You used soldiers to attack the Queensland population. The police commissioner did that when he locked you all in your houses like the prisoners of war that you are. Get back in your cell. Get back in your cell. Don't cross this border that doesn't exist. Clause 8 of your Constitution Act. Colonial boundaries were repealed, meaning there is no border to the state of New South Wales and the state of Queensland. Meaning that the state is not you, the people. You, the people, agreed to unite in one indissoluble Federal Commonwealth. And as we've discussed in the engineers case 1920, when we use the words united in a Federal Commonwealth, whereas the people of the states agreed to unite, it doesn't say the states agreed to unite. Then you became warded to the state and left your Commonwealth. And then that state joined the Australia Act and went overseas to London. London with the pedo king, with the Jimmy Savile and the Rolf Harrises of this world. Your little play school. What's on the rocket clock today, Big Ted? Oh, look, it's a rainbow ideology and a pedophile. Unfortunate reality that you all need to wake up to in your country instead of sitting on your hands, accepting what criminals have decided for you. Now, when it comes to evidence, gather, put in a folder, forward. When it comes to knowing other people have evidence, and they've put that in video record on places like YouTube, we can then subpoena those people before the court to give that evidence. Now, private prosecutions are not going to work because there's this criminal gang called the Department of Public Prosecutions. And they like to throw out cases that don't agree with their ideology. And them being war criminals might be something that the DPP might want to stop. So what I'm saying to all of you is this. Once we collate all the evidence, we are going to send it to every government around the world and demonstrate very clearly who was responsible in this government, who was responsible in these state governments, why they did it, and why it's a crime. The fact that this Australian government disobeys the Hague and Geneva Conventions, this is very evident by the way the United Nations has warned Australia time and time and time again about the way it treats its civilians while they are in occupied territories. Then it is very evident. I don't know what to say if you can't see that and defend the very oppressor that keeps you as a prisoner to a debt world, a lie, a pyramid scheme, a feeding the silver spoon to people like Pauline Hanson, feeding a silver spoon to people like Malcolm Roberts, who have no respect for your Royal Australian Regiment. They have no respect for death that could occur. And Josh, I'm sorry for yelling at you, but that, in front of soldiers, watching them get angry, made me say to you, you are an ignorant man. So I don't know what to say when your politicians play rhetoric all day and ignore the criminal code. And what I'm saying to you is it's time. It's time you stop fighting these fights. It's time you stopped arguing with each other. It's time you stopped being better than each other. It's time you stopped copying my work, trying to be kings, trying to be things you will never comprehend. You are doing your country a disservice. You are doing those Royal Australian soldiers a disservice by mocking them. That is at your detriment, because I stand here with God and the information given to us in the international world to stand up against people like the Queensland government, people like One Nation that lie to you every single day. You will not get anywhere in politics. These people serve foreign interests. They do not work for you. Everything they do under that great seal, under that pedo king, is not for you. It's an attack on you. It's taking everything from you till you have nothing left, poisoning you until you drop dead, and then claiming it all. And those Aborigine that believed that they were getting something from that evil need to realise that evil stole your sovereignty in 1967, stole your land in 1967, stole your sovereign rights from you in 1967, conned you out of your sovereign position and made you citizens of the Abraham Lincoln citizenship machine. The foreigners, he didn't come and free the slaves. You didn't need to be freed. You were already free before they turned up and offered you democracy